Do you want to build your four-legged friend a new house? I'm going to show you how coming up. Hey everybody, I'm Brady, and today on Keep Making Dust, we're going to build a doghouse. Now, my dog is a small dog. It's actually a Heinz 57. I know it's part Chihuahua, but I don't really know what else. But I like him, and that's really all that matters. So, as always, there's a cut list below, along with a wood list and a list of the tools I use, along with links to, if you like the tools, you can buy the tools. So, I recommend go ahead first thing, print off the cut list, the wood list, just so that you can have it right in front of you when the time comes to go to cutting on our boards. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. First thing we will do is mark and cut our base. Alright, now that we got that done, we're going to go ahead and move to assembling our base. Alright, so we're going to start with them. First thing we're going to do is measure in 20 inches from each side. Make sure your ends are lined up. Take your speed square. Draw your mark. Draw your mark. And then we're going to put an X on the inside of both of those marks. And all that X tells you, here's our line, we drew an X here. All this X is for us to say, hey, when we put this together, our floor joist is going to sit on this side of that line. Same here, here's our line, here's our X, sits on this side. So what you're going to do, we'll start off, we're just going to butt these up. Just like so, screw them in, and then we'll flip it and do the other side. Now that that's done, we're going to check to make sure that our base is somewhat square. We can square it up a little bit when we put our deck boards on, but we want to kind of, before we get to that point, just make sure we're close. Which I'm pretty close. If it was off a little bit, you could take a ratchet strap and hook it on either corner, ratchet it together, and it would true it up a little bit. And if it didn't, you may be going the wrong way to try the other corner. But that's one way to do it. Another way, set a corner on the ground and just grab it and put a little pressure on it, and it'll straighten up enough that you can fix it when the time comes that you put your 5/4 boards on. So let's get started on that. When you put them on, you'll line up one end, throw you a couple of screws in it. And I just went flush here and on the back edge. I went flush, and I started with what I'm going to consider, this is going to be the house side and this is going to be the porch side. So the house will cover, if you're off a shade with your cuts, the house will actually cover that. So we're not too concerned with it because there's house going over there. Then we'll put a couple in this end. And then when it comes time to separating your next board, what you want to do is take your screw, take the drilling end of your screw, just set it right on top of your joist, squeeze it up to it, and it'll give you about 1/8 of an inch gap. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish out these deck boards. They're just one after another, so let's do that. Alright, so we got all that screwed down. Now we're going to move on to the actual house. I went back to my cut list and I laid out for my house. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those and we'll get started. So you should have ended up with two 36 inchers, four 17 inchers, four 12 inchers, and 11 21 inchers. These are pretty simple construction. The only one that requires, mainly you're building a frame. So you take, say, your two 17s, a couple of 21s, you butt them together, butt it on top, pretty much a frame. The only one that's different is the 36. And the only thing that's different about it is you'll put one stud in the center. So measure off 18 inches. Get out your speed square, put your line, put your necks on either side. It really doesn't matter there because it's an 1.5 inch difference on the span either way. So I'm going to go ahead and put our walls together. Alrighty, so those are built. Let's stand them up. We'll start with our 3 foot, our 36 inch wall. These two smallest ones are front walls. The two 17 inchers are our side walls. So we're going to start with this one. And all we're going to do, line it up on the back edge and this edge over here and throw us a couple screws in it. There's no magical number. I'm going to do 4, but you can put 10, you can put 2. I recommend, more than 1, but that's your call. And we'll butt our two 17 inch walls. Up to that 36 inch wall. Same here, you'll throw a couple of screws. The biggest thing you want to keep in mind is that this very bottom corner, I'll show you, this corner is tied up against the bottom corner of this wall. And then you want to make sure that this wall is lined up with the outside edge of your 36 inch wall. Then you'll throw a screw in there. And what you're going to want to do here, pull off of that wall, put your little mark here on your deck at 36 inches. And what that is so that you make sure you're keeping your actual house square. Now I chose to put my doorway right in the center of the house. If you don't want to do that, then you didn't have to do the two 12-inch walls. You could actually, if you decided you wanted on just this end, you could have done a no wall and then say a 2-foot wall or whatever size opening you want. I picked 1 foot because, like I said, Pluto's a small dog, so that's plenty of room for him. So anyways, and then when you measure from the corner, the outside corner of your front wall to your back wall should be 24 inches. If you're a shade off, that's all right, but it should be right at 24 inches. So check both sides. And I'm actually running about 24 1/8, so I'm a shade off. So it happens. Either way, you want to hook your back wall and put you a mark right at 24 inches or 24 1/8, or whatever your measurements were on both sides. That gives you to know that these two walls are lined up with each other. All right, now we're gonna move on to the roof. We've got our walls up. Now what we're gonna do is build our trusses. So this is pretty much what they're gonna look like. You got all the pieces on the cut list. Go ahead and cut them out, and then we're gonna assemble them. And all you're gonna do is take your 8 and your 2 5 1/2s, and then your 6 1/2. And when you're screwing them together, you line them up, and you put a screw right in the top at this angle. You know, you can't really get it wrong. So, and since normally I wouldn't do it this way, you'd actually put a strap on here, but since it's a doghouse, nothing's ever gonna be on the roof. It's just holding up a little bit of tin. So we're only gonna build 2 trusses, run our 1x4s across for our tin. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So we've got our 2 trusses built. I'm gonna take this 36 incher, set it on top of these 2 front walls, and what it is for, to make sure you get everything lined up, because I can see I've got a little warp in mine, but you just want to make sure that way that keeps the top of your walls lined up. Just start, put your screw, make sure it's lined up with this side. Now that you got them 2 in it, you may not can see it, but I'm about 1 inch off. This needs to come in about 1 inch. And that's what that's for. It gives you some leverage here to bend it however you need to. So we've got those. We've got our 36 inch. Now we're going to do our 2 trusses. And you're actually going to line it up with the back of your house. And it'll be the same thing. You just screw it down, toe screw it in this way, that way, same on the front, on this side over here. So now that we got our barn shape, we're going to go ahead and get our 4x4s and mount them. Now we're going to set our 4x4s, and you want to set them 1.5 inches in from the edge and 2 inches back according to what your overhang is. Mine is actually 2 inches, this last board. And the reason there's an overhang is for the ramp that we're going to build in a minute. So set those all 1.5 inches in. This corner will be 1.5 inches in on both sides, and then you'll go 1.5 inches in from the inside, from the corner of this to the inside. So it's 36 inches, you got 34.5 inches. All right, let's do that. You may have noticed that on our panel cut list that the panels for the sides are rectangular, and the reason for that is, instead of trying to worry about measuring each one of these points and hoping you get it right, you just take your square panel, set it down, line it up where you want it to be on your walls, and you take your pencil, go along, mark each point, and that way you've got an outline of what to cut and you ain't got to do any kind of guesswork. Now we got our panels cut the way that we want them, we're going to go ahead and paint them. So then that way we can let them dry and install them before we get the roof, because once the roof is on, it's harder to get under there. While we're waiting on our panels to dry, we can go ahead and start on the roof. We'll take our .3-foot 1x4s, and we'll put 2 each per board. So one at the top, one at the bottom, all the way around. Alright, now we'll take our 2 24-inch pieces with the 12-degree angle. We'll put them together, and we'll use our 2 1-foot pieces of 1x4 to make a plate. Alright, so we finished this truss. We can actually move and check to see if our panels are dry. If they are, we'll go ahead and put them up. Alright, our panels are pretty dry, so we're going to go ahead and put them all around our house. Now that we've got all of our panels on, we're going to go to each post and measure down 3 inches. Make a mark. That's so we can line up our roof trusses. So we'll take our first 2 at a 35-degree angle. On these, you set them right above this 3-foot plate that we put on top of the 2 small walls. You set them on it and put them on this 3-inch line. On this truss, you want to mark 2.5 inches, which should be what you're hanging over off of that pole on those. Just like that, you got the beginnings of a roof. Now we're going to take on this back side, measure up 21 inches, put us a mark, and that's for our last joist. And what we'll do, line it up at 21 and line it up to the peak here. Screw her down. You want to line the first one up on this edge, the next one you'll line up on that top edge on those 2 rafters over there. And then you'll take your 2 2-footers and they'll go here. And the last thing we'll do before we move to our 10 is you'll put a fascia board up, and it'll go on the edge of these just like this right here. So now we're going to cut our 10. You can use a grinder with a Metabo blade. You can use 10 SNIPS, you can use 10 shears, electric shears, or you can use a skill saw. And if you decide to go with a skill saw, what you do is take the blade off, turn it around backwards where it spins backwards, and that's how you cut. So let's move to our 10. So if you're using a skill saw to cut 10, I do recommend eye protection and ear protection. Alright, so we have our self-tapping screws. We've got all our 10 cut. Now we're going to put it down. We'll start with our 27-inch pieces. And what we're going to do here is line them up with this board right at the very top, this 1x4. When you put your next piece, you want to overlap a couple of ribs. See, these are the ribs in it. You want to overlap a couple to keep it from leaking mainly. So you overlap a couple, kind of like so. See, I've overlapped 2 there. Look at it, make sure you like how it looks. And you want to put a screw that goes through both sheets. Alright, so to keep from ripping down another sheet, we only need about 1 foot here, and these are 25.5 inches. So what you do here, set your sheet to about where you want the opening on this end. and you overlap as many ribs as if you need to. So that then that way you didn't have to cut another sheet. You didn't have to cut this sheet in half. You could just keep going. And then you just go through every 6 or so ribs, you put another screw. But we're gonna go ahead and do this piece so you can see how it looks. Take your 4.5 incher, and you want the ribs to line up so that when you screw it down, you get a pretty good joint there that you ain't gotta worry about it leaking. You take your other 4.5, get it lined up how you want it. Put your screw in it, and then it'll be the same way every 6 or so ribs. Put your screw. But I want to show you just this so that you know for sure you're doing it right. Then you take your 10 incher, you line it up the same way, but you want to make sure it overhangs that sheet that we just put in our 4.5. Anyways, you do it the same way, and you just finish laying your 10. So now that our 10 screwed down, we want to move on to our ridge cap. And what you're going to do is pull your measurement and then add 1 inch to it. So we've got our 2 pieces cut, and when you put them on, you want about a 1/2 inch overhang on either side. You want to try to line it up right with the ridge of your house. When you put it on, you want to try to press it down a little bit, not much, just give it a little flatness so you set flat on your 2 angles. So let's go ahead and screw this down. So now our ridge cap's on, the 10's down, and if you like the looks of it, you could actually leave it like this. I'm going to put trim around it because I think it looks better, but man, I guess it's whatever you decide you want to do. So now we're going to cut our trim in half. That'll be 1 3/4 inch, 2 inch. When you split a 3.5, it'll be 1 3/4 inch 2 times, and we're going to paint it white. All right, so you probably noticed on the trim I didn't give you a cut list, I just gave a material list, and the reason is if you were 1/8 of an inch shorter, if you dropped yours 1/8 of an inch lower than I did, then these numbers are not going to line up if I would have gave a cut list. So really you just measure. We know these are 22.5 degree angles, so you know the angles, just measure them out and cut them. All that's left now is to run our fence and build our little ramp. All I did for the fence, take some of our cut down 1x, and we'll just put them up like so. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you the ramp. All I did for the ramp was cut down a few 5/4 boards to 24 inches, and then took a 16 inch 2x4 and cut it from corner to corner, which will give you 2 equal ramp sides. And you just slide it under, screw it, run your boards. So I'm going to do that. And just like that, boom, Doghouse for Pluto. If you like what you've seen, think about hitting the subscribe button so you can stay up to date with what we got going on. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep making dust.